Hello and welcome to the Colossians 2:7 Podcast in English. Du hörst gerade eine monatliche Folge für unsere Freunde in den Staaten. While our regular listeners are primarily German, we are delighted to have a growing number of listeners from the States as well. Odds are you know us personally, and I want to thank you for tuning in. In this special episode, we invite you, dear friend, to join Willi and me as we engage in thoughtful conversation about life and ministry within the German context.
So, what is the topic for today?
Well, it's an English one.
Oh, it's an English one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I'm.
that's why you're here.
the English speaker.
Why?
But I was thinking about.
Oh,
I was thinking about something the other week. But first, I was given a nickname at work today. Is it running?
Yes.
This would be the cold open this way.
All right.
I was given a nickname. Sometimes when
Not Ronnie.
sometimes when customers come, they order a certain amount of product, but can only carry half of it. And so this person got cobblestones, I think, and then he said he'll come back later and get the other half. And so his partner came back later, and he said, okay, my partner told me to go to the same person that loaded the truck earlier, and when I asked who it was, he said, it's the Pope.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
And I said, is that because I'm Christian or because I'm American? And he said, it's because you're religious.
I thought maybe because you have a nice hat on.
Yes, it's even the same town. Different club, but the same town.
There you go. Well, so we're having a conversation with the Pope.
Yes.
And
The Pope, and then either Spurgeon or Piper or whoever.
or Willi.
You get them mixed up sometimes.
That is true.
But what I was noticing the other week is my fiancée, Lisa, or Elizabeth, as she'll be introducing herself when we're there in the States.
Whoa, it's a little fancy there.
Like, when we were there in August, Daniel made a little booklet talking about like all the church members and stuff, and there she wrote down her name as Elizabeth.
But it's not even true. It's Elisaveta.
It's Elizaveta, I know, but which is Elizabeth,
Well, yeah.
just in Russian.
Yes, correct.
But we were in, I think it was one of the previous Bible studies, or no, I think it was church actually. It was Sunday morning service, and she has multiple Bible translations on her phone. So she's not using a paper copy like most of us do. She has a digital copy, and the reason is she has looked, but it's difficult to find to have a parallel translation of Russian and German and English. So like
Yes.
that's difficult, and she's not as comfortable in English, for instance, just to have just an English Bible, but she needs to have the translation side by side.
Yeah.
And so she was following in her Russian, which is the new Russian translation. I'm not sure from when that translation is. But she knew that my preferred translation in English
It's the old Russian. The King Vladimir translation.
Nikolai.
Nikolai. The new Nikolai edition.
The NIV, the Nikolai International Version.
Yeah.
Hmm
I like it.
The Holman translation is the one that I prefer to use in English, also known as the
Christian.
Hartog translation.
Interesting. Never heard of that.
No?
No.
It was the Hartogs that brought that translation to faith.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like that translation came out early 2000s, and I was there in 2008, and so it was a newer translation, and the Hartogs were the ones that suggested it and were using it, so we were joking around that it's the Hartog inspired version.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Are you sure it wasn't the ESV?
No, the ESV was popular as well, but it was the
But it
whole
came out in the early 2000s.
around the same time.
Huh.
So Lisa was reading the Holman translation, but still having difficulties,
Hmm.
and so she showed me her phone and said, "Well, here, find a translation in the English that she can understand more easily."
The message.
I did. I giggled about the message because I knew that would be probably more confusing for her than anything else.
That would make sense.
But then, as I was scrolling through the different options, I came across one translation, and it's the New Living Translation.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that I used when I came to the States in 2008.
Yeah.
For one simple reason, it was simple.
Hmm.
It's not the best translation. It's not the most word for word.
Yeah, it's not literal.
It's quite dynamic. But if English is not your first language,
Mm-hmm.
it's a remarkable tool to have a translation you can actually understand.
Yeah.
Because before she would read the English and not be able to understand it very clearly, and then I noticed what a difference it made when we went to the New Living Translation with her New Russian translation side by side, and she actually said, "Whoa, I can understand this."
Yeah. Now, Heidi did the same thing with the new Neues Leben.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because the New Living has a German translation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Neues Leben Übersetzung. Neues Leben Bibel.
Is that not the Hoffnung für alle?
No. Mm-mm.
Which that's one that, for evangelistic purposes, you might use that one on occasion.
You could use that if somebody has. I mean, it is very easy to read. The
Mm-hmm.
New Living is Neues Leben. It's still easy to read, just like in English.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a little bit more. It's a better translation than Hoffnung für alle.
Mm-hmm. And so I was just thinking, wow, for her now, I mean, she's trying to, with baby steps,
Mm-hmm.
speak more English and get more accustomed to it. And she was quite overwhelmed by the aspect of reading the Bible in an English version that
Mm-hmm.
she can't comprehend.
Yeah.
So now breaking that barrier, it was quite amazing for her.
Correct. Yes.
And that's why it got me thinking that we are here in a German context,
Mm-hmm.
and with people with different backgrounds, and we need to present the gospel, present God's word in a way that is understandable to them.
Mm-hmm.
And as our intern Corban, who's in our little cabin,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call this, a cabin? I was thinking of Kämmerlein. That's the German closet.
Yeah, that will be a closet. It's a little bigger, a little smaller than a closet in America.
It's about the size of like a
It's a
tiny walk.
yeah, it's like some people's walk-in closet. This is the closet of the walk-in closet.
Mm-hmm. He's how was your first time when you did the youth group for us? That was your first Friday here, and you did the youth group. How was that experience for you?
I think it was good. It helped me adjust to thinking about how people hear the Bible versus me being in a college all the time of speaking to mostly people who are my peers or having, I'd say, fairly deep knowledge of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Having to translate my own words out of my own specific context into something that is clearly understandable, not just in what I'm saying, but also being translated sentence by sentence.
Mm.
What's one thing that I told you? Do you still remember what I told you?
Yeah. You told me not to be so. The word was you used high. It was more like lofty-minded or
Mm-hmm.
kind of better than thou.
Yeah, because I mean, I read through your script and it made sense,
Mm-hmm.
But then I was thinking, well, people here are not from like a Bible school context.
Mm.
People here are either first generation Christians or they're baby believers. So
Mm-hmm.
speaking in a lofty way that you might do like in a Bible college will not be understood.
Yeah.
So the challenge I gave you was not to dumb it down, but to simplify it.
Yeah. And then again, you have different churches in different areas where it might be more appropriate. Also, if you, I mean, even in the States, if you have a more rural area, it would look very different. It would probably sound different than if it's downtown in a big city. It's just a different context. I remember when I came back from faith, I wanted to teach my church, and that was English back then, certain things, and also use certain phrases or use certain terms. But after a while, I realized, why? I mean, I think to a certain extent, like teaching them sovereignty and what it means, that I would say is very important. Um, Teaching them the term soteriology, it's not bad, but the question is, okay, if I have to explain certain things, and it doesn't even have to be in a context of theology, but even examples. If I may use an example.
Sure, use me as a bad example of what not to do.
I'm not saying if it is. Well, let me. I use myself. If I would try to explain something to our German church and use a football analogy, American football analogy, and I would have to explain a fumble. So I would probably have to explain first what is a fumble, then what is actually football, and why do they call it football if they touch it with their hands. All those things. So I probably spend 5 to 10 minutes explaining something so that I can use an example to make a point. So I have to consider, okay, is it worth it that I explain this new concept to them, and you can use it in anything, just to make a point. And so a lot of times we do the same thing with theology. So we have to consider, okay, what is the whole point of it? And I don't think a church should not grow in their spiritual vocabulary and all that. But at the same time, in German you would say, ihr redet nur Kananäisch. So you only speak the language of
canon.
Of yes.
Of like doctrine and dogma and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no. Canaan.
Oh,
of the
Canaan.
whole Canaan. So what in German it's Canaan, Kananäisch. So you speak a language that is high up there, but it's not really helpful, and it sounds to everybody else it sounds kind of odd.
Yeah.
So are you currently explaining a concept in order to explain a concept?
Yes, exactly. Which in that context makes sense.
Oh. And so your preaching here in Germany has developed a little bit over the years.
Correct.
And I believe mine as well, perhaps. And I recall, I lost my train of thought right there. I recall a few years back when we started having more and more guests at church. And many of them are now church members or longtime guests. But you and I talked about this, that we pretty much need to meet the people where they're at, and from there you can help them grow. They can grow in their faith and understanding, but you can't be speaking lofty things when they're not able to understand the loftiness.
Correct.
And so there was one lady at our church. She's not a member, but she's still a longtime guest, and I was preaching through Galatians. And I was loving my own sermon series through Galatians. But it is highly theological, I suppose. And I could tell that she was, nodding off a little bit every time I was preaching. And she either told you this or you overheard it when she was telling someone else. But she was not understanding anything that I was preaching.
Yeah.
And so I realized, oh snap, I need to actually meet them where they're at.
Yeah. And here's the challenge, because you have people that have been saved for 40 years. And then you have people that have been saved for 40 days. So you have to find a path where you teach the ones that know and also teach the ones that don't know. But That's why teaching biblical concepts, if they're new, so let's go back to the sovereignty of God. I don't care how long you've been saved, and I don't care if you know what sovereign means, but you need to understand this concept, and it will come up over and over. So sovereignty will come up.
And sovereignty is like, that is a very specific example, which you do need to clarify.
Yes.
Because everyone, they go, oh, we know what sovereignty means. No, I mean, when I was having Bible studies with the university students right when I got here, they would go, oh yeah, I know what sovereignty means. That means God can do whatever he wants to do. I go, well, yeah, but still he keeps to his word.
Yeah.
Their understanding was he can, the German word is willkürlich, without reason. He can just do whatever he wants to do, whatever he feels like doing. And so explaining, no, he is bound by his word because he is truth. He does not lie. He keeps his promises.
Yeah.
Therefore, we can attempt to understand who he is and what he wants from us.
Correct. Yeah.
And so, therefore, not just agreeing on a term, but what that term means and how it plays out practically, that's something you have to clarify.
Yeah, and that will translate into the American context too. I mean, of course, if you stay close to faith, you will have a more Bible-educated crowd, simply because if they send their kids to faith, or if they have people come and back and forth, and so that is one thing. But if you go further away from the Bible college, and if you meet the people where they are, even if they've been saved and really well established in God's word, there are certain concepts that you will learn at a Bible college. And I don't know if I should say that, but you'll probably never need in your life unless you write a paper. I mean, there are certain questions people ask. It's okay, this person has been in Bible college, because nobody else in church would actually get that point.
Yeah. It's not likely that I'll be talking deep about seminal headship with somebody in a random church out in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, and if when you're done with your studies, and if you enter ministry, I think this will help you just to keep that in mind. But it doesn't mean that you have to throw everything away. Somebody said it one time this way: you have to, and the same thing for kids ministry. If you are able to understand the deepest theological concepts, but explain it so that a kid understands it, then you're much further in your development than if you just repeat what you've learned, and then you have nice sounding phrases.
Are you quoting me quoting Dr. Kubilia?
I think he was quoting somebody else too.
Okay.
Maybe he was quoting Spurgeon.
Yeah. Spurgeon or Willi or John Piper, one of those guys. But yeah, and when I talked to you, Corban, about the youth group the other day, it was one way to take something which right now you're in a Bible college, so a lot of it's in your head. You study it, you've spent a lot of time with it, but then when you present it, don't just keep it at the theoretical, but then you take it a step deeper into the practical and then the heart issue. And that's one way how you go from loftiness to something personal that people that resonates with people, regardless what their spiritual level is.
Correct. So as a foreigner, how much have you understood from our services?
Small bits.
Okay.
Little small chunks. And then the notes you guys have are helpful. Otherwise, not a lot.
Okay.
But there was some funny mistakes in the notes, right?
A few, just weird translations.
Well, we do that on purpose just to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
There were angels on a scooter.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
That was intentional. No.
And then, did you tell me this?
I think I might have.
Like something was translated as like Japan or something. I think Lisa mentioned that actually.
Okay.
That we should love Japan
Oh,
and obey what Japan wants us to do.
Yeah,
And so I don't know what German word was translated into Japan.
there's some random words that get translated
like
as
it.
strange things.
That's good. I mean, we have to be loyal to the Japanese.
Yes.
Yes, we.
To the Caesar.
That's right. Yeah, we and again, somebody, and that's not supposed to toot our horn, but somebody pointed out that came to visit our church one time. He himself is a foreigner. He's a pastor living in Germany, and he told me afterwards, your church is very open for foreigners. It doesn't mean that we just welcome them. So that his observation during the service, after the service, was that foreigners feel welcome, and we try, because we want them to understand what God's love means and what God's family is. And so therefore I will try to speak slow and clear, just so that people understand. We try to give the option of the translation. Is it extra work? Well, yes, somebody has to do it, but if that means that suddenly 5 people understand what God's word says, well, it's worth it. Because, and then we had a discussion. You guys were at the youth group. We had it at a men's meeting, and it was quite interesting, because in a sense, language unites, which is proven by the Tower of Babel. Obviously, language, they were united, and then the language barrier came and the language divided. And so, of course, in a church context, the same thing happens. The more people speak the same language, the more we are united. Yet, we are still united in Christ, even if we don't speak the same language. And I believe if somebody lives here, they should try to learn the language. That counts for every country. If you go to Russia, you should learn the language. If you go to Spain, you should learn the language. And if you go to Germany or America, you should learn the language. So, but until then, until you have learned a language, and some languages you can't really master, you will still be a part of the family, and we want you to feel as a part of the family as much as possible. And part of that is you use simple language, clear, and so that people understand it. And it's not dumbing it down. It is just making it accessible. And I think you will reach more than that, than other ways.
It helps that I speak High German. Would you consider yourself speaking High German? It's not like the deep Bavarian.
Yeah,
and then a few months ago, I was in a church up north, and the person got my script, translated it into Russian with a translation software, and then spent 2 hours fine-tuning it.
All the theology. That is such a great thing.
Making a whole new sermon out of it. But he spent 2 hours on my script to make it presentable for the Russian hearers at the church. I'm sure the quality of that translation is far beyond what we are translating.
Oh yeah.
However, again, we're reaching people where they're at and trying to bring them along.
Yeah.
Either you told me this, Corban, or someone else told me this, that our translations are decent enough that if German's not your mother tongue, you can follow along. But it's bad enough that you want to hear it in German, because it's inaccurate at times. You have angels on roller skates, and you have scooters, and you have honoring the Japanese Caesar. So I mean, you have inaccuracies like that, which gives you motivation to be able to put that translation aside and focus on what the preacher is actually saying.
And that is, we considered for the new church building to have maybe live translation. Or not I shouldn't say it that way. somebody asked if we could do live translation in the new church building.
Oh.
And I was thinking about it, and I don't think that will be good. Because what we do, and as you said, we encourage others to learn the language.
Yeah.
Because if you have headphones on and you hear English, for example, you will not hear the German, obviously, because it will be distracting for yourself. And if you look at the last 5 years that we've had now consistent translation, now I would say from the very beginning we had translation, but 5 years for sure consistent every Sunday. The languages have changed and partially fallen away because people came, they spoke some German, but they still needed some, even Lisa with Russian, she doesn't need that anymore.
No.
Or if you look at Portuguese or Italian. And so you had those people, but now they understand enough that they don't need it anymore. And if then they would just glance over it to see, okay, oh yeah, that was that, because there's still words that people use, that we use, that you might not understand. But so actually, as a person that lives here, you will benefit from reading the translation and hearing it, because you will learn it. And that way your German's going to get better. So spiritually, but also linguistically. Which means language.
Thank you.
I didn't want to use big words. I didn't want you to think about some Italian dish with linguine, pasta and all that.
It wasn't until now.
There you go.
You did make me think of Luigi now, though.
Oh, there you go. Luigi is making linguine.
Linguine.
Yes.
So Corban.
Yes.
We want to do a few more English episodes before you head back to the States. Do you have a topic suggestion?
Suggestion.
Yes.
Let's see.
Beards in ministry.
Beard?
Yes.
Or beers?
Beards in ministry.
Beards in ministry.
Yes.
Okay.
Is this bird by anything specific?
Well, maybe the American listeners have suggestions that he should ask.
Suggestions you should ask. Okay. Well, we can write those suggestions in the comments, and we can have this question in the comments. But it's time for Bible study.
Yes.
Yep.
And so
we have to sanctify ourselves.
Okay. I was talking about that on Monday during my presentation at the university.
Oh, yes.
I had one person listening. I don't think she liked it a whole lot.
Well, that is how it is.
Okay, well, till next time, with some new topics to talk about from our intern from the United States.
Of the Americas.
Yes. Stay frosty, my friends.
Bye-bye.